Aussies are being left in an awkward position when it comes to paying the bill while eating out, often being asked, would you like to leave a tip?
And?
No. Hard no. Hard no.
You're quite passionate about this,
well,
aren't you?
after 4 years in the US, I wasted tens of thousands of dollars tipping.
Yeah, OK, fair enough. Well, once a staple in the American dining experience, tipping is now becoming a popular tactic at restaurants and businesses across our country, especially if you pay with your card. For more, we're joined by consumer behaviour and retail expert Gary Mortimer on the Gold Coast. Gary, what's driving all this?
Well, Clint, this is an auto-prompt tipping method that seems to be driving this frequency of tipping. You know what it's like. You've had a nice meal with some friends. The waiter comes out. They've got an FPOS machine. Before you tap and go, you've got some prompts there. You know, 5% would like to tip 10 or maybe 15%, or a custom amount. So it's the actual prompt itself that's actually encouraging us more to tip.
Well, sorry to interrupt, Ali. You also feel like a bit of a tight ass, don't you?
Yeah, you do. I guess there's that panic, that moment.
If you don't press the button.
Yeah.
It can get a bit awkward.
Is it that pressure, Gary, that makes people panic and leads to us actually tipping?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's almost guilt-prone tipping. It's you know, no one wants to go to the custom amount and then have to key in the $0 amount. So you can't sort of bypass it. So yeah, that's part of it, is that pressure to sort of tip, and it's visual. And particularly if you're sitting with colleagues, work colleagues, you don't want to seem like a bit of a cheap one to do that.
Yeah, when everyone else is doing it, you've got to do it too. Why are restaurants and cafes pushing this so much?
Yeah, listen, ultimately it comes down to finding great staff. Now, tips will normally complement a team member's wages, and we're talking about minimum wages here in Australia, trying to find great staff to work in hospitality, cafes, bistros, restaurants. So one of the attracting things to I guess, a potential team member is, listen, we have a high proportion of tips, so you'll get this much per hour, plus there's a chance or an opportunity to get this extra tip on top of that wage. So anything that facilitates more tipping will actually hopefully go to team members.
I mean, this is such an American thing, and in America, hospitality staff, they earn below minimum wage. They're making, $3, $4, $5 an hour, so they need the tips to survive. We actually pay our hospitality workers quite well, so that's where I take issue. Yeah. I think they are paid quite well. Gary, do you think we will continue?
She's a bit tight, Gary.
I'm not. I will happily tip a nice meal if someone's gone above and beyond, sure. But if I go and pay for a cup of coffee and they slide it around and it's like 5-10%, no. I just.
Is she tight, Gary?
Oh, mate, I'm never going to say that on camera. Listen. At the end, Ali's right. So there is a difference between US wages and Australian wages. Around about $7.50 or $11.50 Australian minimum, $27 here in Australia. It is very Americanised. Listen, I think if it's a voluntary nature of tip, which has always been traditionally the case, then I think most people are happy to tip. If it's forced to tip, then you start to get this idea of reactance, and people don't like to do that. So they may actually not come back. So the future, I think we'll see more restaurants and bistros doing this because we're using less cash to give away sort of $10 or $15 every time we tip. The more we do it, the risk is you have a bad experience and you don't come back.
Yeah, 100%. And I do have to say, travelling...
here we go.
Travelling around America, Aussies do have a bad reputation for not tipping because we are not accustomed to normally doing it. So I have found it interesting bouncing around it, and Americans are like, oh, Australian, and they assume that you're going to be a bit of a tight ass. Gary Mortimer.
Thank you, Gary. Very generous with your time, Gary.
Thank you.